and thank you once again for tuning in to the 30-Day Mental Diet. Today, we are on day number 23. And the title of our lesson today is Learn to Avoid Stress and Anxiety. And the subheading of this today's lesson is You Create Your Problems. As usual, let us dive right into the introduction to this message. And I'm really hoping that everyone really focuses in on today's 30-day mental diet, because I know that there are many people out there that are going through great deals of stress. So let's go into the introduction. Today's living seems to be filled with stress, anxiety, and pressure. Everybody, in one way or another, apparently suffers from being alive in our present civilization. Although the causes of such conditions may exist in the world about you, you alone determine how you're going to react to them. You have the privilege of allowing conditions around you to become the cause of problems within you, or to rise above them. Okay, so right here we're going straight into the introduction, and the last line of the introduction on the first paragraph just about says it all. We have the privilege as children of the infinite God that have free will. We have the privilege, not just the right and the choice, but the privilege to overcome outside pressures, outside problems that are on the outside. Or we can allow it to fester inside us and cause damage to our internal body. Now remember, I'm constantly saying over and over, first cause is mental. So most stress and anxiety in the world is our mind racing and dwelling on the future and what might happen. These things have not happened yet, but we're worrying about what might happen. And we've learned over and over in the 30-Day Mental Diet, first cause is mental, and whatever we dwell on with emotion, we build a mold and we build our world. So if our mind is constantly stressed and worrying about the future, and we have anxiety about things that might happen. Right now, we're in a pandemic. There's a worldwide pandemic, and a lot of people are under a lot of duress, a lot of stress. They're worrying about dying of a sickness, which over 90% of the people recover from. But so many people are afraid that they're going to catch this disease and maybe die. This is stress and anxiety. And those stresses and anxiety is manifesting themselves within the body. So these people might never catch this disease, but other things are manifesting in their body. I went too long. Let's go to the next paragraph, and let's dive in even deeper. Mind and body. It has been ascertained that the mental reactions you have to conditions about you are responsible for specific bodily reactions. The longer a sustained adverse mental reaction is maintained, the more severe will become the body's reaction. I want you to get what we just said here. The longer you dwell on a negative thought, the longer you stress about something, the longer you hold anxiety in your mind, the more damage you're doing to your body, and the greater the damage to your body. Okay, let's go further. And eventually you can find yourself with a serious health problems. In other words, your sustained negative mental attitudes can and do become tangible as disease. The body has no choice but to correspond in nature and function to the quality of your thoughts and emotions. Now, I want you to think here, folks. The body must react to your thoughts and your emotions. When you are thinking a thought, when you are dwelling on a thought with emotions, the emotions is the spirit moving within you. When you feel that, the atoms of the universe are moving to create the thing that you're thinking about. I want to say that again. When you're thinking about a thing with passion and you feel emotional about the thing you're thinking about, the atoms of the universe is moving and it's creating the thing that you're thinking about. Now, the Bible says, so shall my word that proceeds from my mouth, it shall not return to me void, but it shall accomplish the thing for which I sent it forth to do. So how do we create? We hold a sustained thought in our mind. We become excited and motivated and emotional about that thought. And we speak a word. And when we speak, these are all three levels of vibration. Thought is vibration. It's electrical activity going on in the brain. If you put a CT scan and scanners on the brain and a person is thinking or dreaming, you will see electric signals are firing off. Thought. You put emotion behind the thought, it increases the electrical activity. Then you speak, that increases that vibrational and electrical activity. And the universe shakes the atoms and creates for you. This is important because I'm going through the process of creation, because the same process of creation that I'm speaking about is the process of creation that we use to create ill health in our life. We are emotional about something. We hate certain people. We hate certain conditions. We hate this and we hate that. And we hate it with passion. And that is only being turned back upon us because we are holding a negative thought for a long period of time. Let's go to the next paragraph. No one is exempt. If there is one thing you cannot do, is to divorce your body from the body of your thought. Simple illustrations of the way the heart beats faster as a result of a sense of fear, the way the stomach becomes upset with feelings of hate, and the manner in which the intestines behave with emotional extremes all points out the unity of your being. Going further down. All too often, extreme damage could be done before you realize the detrimental nature of the negative mental sprees you may have indulged in. And this is I like the way Willis Skinner puts that as negative mental sprees, because sometimes we just get into a funk. We're just in a bad mood, and we don't want anybody to take us out of our bad mood. We're just mad about something, we're angry about something, and we're in this funk. But when we're in this funky attitude and we're in this bad attitude, what is being said here is that we need to snap out of it quickly. And you know, be honest with you, some people enjoy being angry. Yes. I know that. Because anger works for them. So if anger works for them, and they get angry and they get their way when they become angry, they use anger as a tool, not realizing that anger and negative emotions, even though they're using it as a tool to get what they want from other people, it's also becoming detrimental to their own body. We cannot divorce ourselves from our mind and our body. Our body reacts to stress in the mind. So we understand if the body is damaged from mental stress, that means the mind and the body are one. Let's go to the next paragraph. Don't stop living. I'm at the middle of the paragraph. You have to learn to keep things in their proper places. If you let an extreme problem develop into an internal problem of an ulcer, you have gained nothing, but you now have two problems instead of one. Very, very true. If you dwell on something that's stressing you develop an ulcer, now you have a physical problem. Or even you can get an ulcer, you can get a stroke. You have a physical problem now and the same mental problems. One of the things we need to do is to understand, to put our problems in perspective. And we're going to deal with that in the next paragraph. One of the things I tell my children and I tell people all the time in ministry is keep yourself a journal. If you don't have a journal, go out and buy yourself one. And one of the things you should do in your journal, especially when you're dealing with things, no matter how small or how large the challenge you have, write it down in your journal. One of the things you will find is that when you have a problem in your mind, okay, there's a lot of thoughts that's flooding your mind. And there's a lot of confusion that's going on within your mind. Take the thoughts and the challenge that you're dealing with and the problem you're dealing with out of your mind and put it on paper. Write it out on paper. Now, when you write it on paper and you look at it, now your problem is no longer in your head, but it's now in the physical on paper. And you have separated your mind from that problem. It's very, very important what I'm saying to you. You must do this and you will see the difference. Once you write it down on paper, you have now perspective. The problems are over there and I am over here. I can now think clearer and look at the problem from a distance in a holistic way. And I'll write out probable solutions to my problems. And some of them I say, oh, strike that. This is possible, this is not possible, and work my way through. This is one of the things we spoke about in the lesson on the 30-day mental diet about learning to think constructively. The mind of God is within you. And one of the most constructive ways you can think is to take the thoughts from your mind and write it on a paper. And through the process of deduction, figure your way through the problems, write your way through the problem. Try it and you will see you will have much less stress and much less anxiety in your life. Let's go to the next paragraph. Okay, so let's look at the next paragraph, the place for problems. The problems you encounter in your daily experience are external to you. Leave them there. You can deal with them much better if they are not where you can see them. Let me read that again. You can deal with them much better if they are out where you can see them. Properly appraise them and determine an adequate course of action. Same thing I was just saying before. Put your problems over there. Put your problems out of your mind and put it on a piece of paper. write it out. It's over there, it's now external to you. And now you can properly appraise the problem, and you can properly look at it and say, is it really a bad problem? Write scenarios on how to conquer this problem, solutions for this particular problem that's causing you stress and anxiety, and work towards a goal of achieving it. Okay, so in the same, the next paragraph is life is interesting. It is the negative extremes you need to avoid, and particularly those that you maintain for a long period of time. Life is to be enjoyed, but you will never have a chance to enjoy it if you let yourself wallow in or bog in stress, anxiety, and pressure. That's very, very true. Many people are in occupations that are stressing them, and the stress has been going on for years, and they're dealing with the stress for 8, 9, 10, 12 hours a day. They bring home the work with them every day, that same stress. And no matter how much money they are making, the job is not worth it. This is important. So it is very, very important that we know that we're here, we have the mind of God. We must have challenges in our life. That's what makes us grow. But we cannot let the challenges of life bog us down. We have to now make a strategy every time a challenge comes to us, whether it be personal, whether it be financial, whether it be occupational, whether it be academic, whatever, whether it be in your relationships, whatever the problem is. I implore you, get a journal, write it out, and put it external to you, and then read the problem from a distance, and you're going to see you're going to have much better results that way than holding it in your mind and letting it stress you constantly. Okay, so we're at work with yourself. The ability to live a normal, healthy life without the adverse influences of destructive emotional reactions rests in what you can do about the way you think. To properly face a problem situation, you must first face yourself. I'm at the next paragraph, which is enjoyable living. This is the last paragraph. If you can come to accept that mind, in its infinite wisdom, knows what to do about the situations in which you are involved, that you are rightly guided and directed in what you do and say relative to it, and also that its individualization as your mind permits of no destructive reaction, then you can relax with a calm mental assurance and an emotional stability that will permit you to live as you should live. Whew. This is a very, very good lesson. I hope you have your 30-day mental diet book. As you know, I'm just paraphrasing from different sections in the book, but this particular lesson is a very good lesson. And I hope that at least we've gotten some practical steps we can deal with. We can do things we can do to deal with stresses and anxiety in our life. So let's look at the mental stimulus. I'm reading philosophy, and I'm reading from Ralph Tyler Llewellyn. Faith is the basis of our present world, and lack of faith the source of our discords. Very true. And I'm reading from religion, 1 John 5:4. Whatsoever is born of God overcometh the world, and this is the victory that overcometh the world, even our faith. Very, very true. And you know, when you take the time to write your goals down, take the time to visualize your goal, when you have a situation that's causing you stress and anxiety, and you choose to write down the opposite and to visualize yourself possessing the opposite thing that's stressing you, you're going to find that your body will be much calmer. Your blood pressure will go down, and as your blood pressure goes down, everything else falls into place. And you'll find that a lot of things that you used to cause you stress and anxiety no longer bothers you. When you're meditating, you're in a peaceful state because you know that you possess the mind of God. And because you possess the mind of God, this mind of God knows the answers to all my problems. And even now, the answers are speeding their way to me. Not only that, but the scripture said, before you have called, God has answered. That's a wonderful thing. So before you even call on God, before you even sat down and asked God for a solution, He already answered. He already gave you the answer. And you can live a much more healthier life, both mental health and physical health, if you take these things into practice. Let's read the diet together. I face life with calm assurance, a feeling of strength and security that enables me to discover a newfound joy. Gone are the damaging stresses, anxieties, and pressures I formerly experienced. For I know that the life that is at the center of my beings knows nothing of these things, and it now guides and directs me in all that I do. Mental turmoil, emotional imbalance, and physical disturbances cease to be part of my experience, for I know them to be no part of God, whose life I now accept as my life. I handle all things that need to be taken care of in an enthusiastic manner that is creative and good. All that is to be done in my daily life, I do with ease and joy, with confidence. I know that God, to whom all things are known, makes known to me the proper thing to do at the proper time. I do not avoid living, but enter into living more enthusiastically, for I know that the more I express life, the more it expresses itself in wholeness and completeness in me. I start to live anew, new in mind, new in feeling, and new in body. What a wonderful, wonderful diet. I live anew. I'm going to say that again. I start to live anew, new in mind, new in feeling, and new in body. These are the steps for your creation. Your mind, your emotions, straight to your body. They are all one. Let's read the capsule supplement together. In God, there is only good. There are no opposites, irritations, stresses, or strains. I now accept God as the source of my life and experience only harmony in my daily living. There are so many wonderful phrases there that you can use for your daily affirmations, especially if you're going through a stressful time. I know people right now that are no longer with us, and they are no longer with us because of stress that they had in their life. And I implore you, use some of the strategies that we spoke about today so you can conquer that stress. Because remember, I'm constantly saying over and over, first cause is mental. We must get our head and our minds in the right place, in a peaceful state, in order for us to get manifestation and peace and abundance in our world. I want to thank you once again for tuning in with us in 30-Day Mental Diet. And like always, if you like our material, please share it on your social media, share it with your friends and family, share it with someone that you know is going through some stress today and they need to hear this message. And please give us a thumbs up, and I'll see you folks again tomorrow on the 30-day mental diet.